Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you guys are. So, guys, Jermell Charlo popped up and said, he feels that after seeing Canelo's performance, that he would bash Canelo up. Jermell Charlo, the one at 154. Everyone's piping up now because they think Canelo's a diminishing force. I you look, I think Canelo. I'm still gonna stick by it. I think Canelo's not that guy. In the sense, when I mean not that guy, I think he's not the same as he was a couple years back. But Canelo Alvarez would beat Jermell Charlo with ease. Jermell Charlo's a 154 pounder. Canelo's currently operating at 168. So if Jermell Charlo wants to move up to 168, move up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo Alvarez, I'm pretty sure Canelo would be more than happy to oblige. They're both undisputed champions at their respective weights, and I don't think Jermell Charlo is big enough. I don't think Jermell Charlo, has ever fought above 154, and I think Jermell Charlo would get battered by Canelo, because what you got to realize is those guys, Canelo would like that sort of style. To be honest with you, the Charlos, that sort of style would suit Canelo massively. I think because them guys like to fight, they like to come forward themselves. Canelo would enjoy that. I think what Canelo might find a lot more tougher at this stage, even though I'm not so sure. I think it's the boxers, the movers. However, even those guys, you have to be like really efficient, and you have to probably be somebody that is very durable. Because Canelo Alvarez, although he's now loading up and not throwing as many combinations, he's really very sharp. Sharp in the sense, he's loading up on his shots, and you have to be very durable because he's hitting you and he's breaking you down. And a lot of these guys are getting broken down. Like your Plants got broken down. Saunders eventually got taken out. So you have to be very, very durable to last against this Saul Alvarez. And someone coming from a lower weight class, Canelo's very heavy-handed as it is for guys at 168. He wears them down. So you can imagine what he would do to somebody that is of a smaller weight class. And even Jermall, both of them, I think Canelo beats them easily. I think the guys that may cause Canelo trouble are Benavidez, because Benavidez is big, and if Benavidez is able to absorb Canelo's power, then that makes that fight a bit of a tough one. Obviously, Bivol, I don't think Canelo wins that fight. That one's a step too far. But Andre, Charlo, all these guys, I favor Canelo. I think the Benavidez fight, I'm not so sure. I would favor Canelo, but I'm not so 100% sure anymore, because Benavidez he impressed me against Plant. Even though, again, I'm not convinced, but I just think that with Canelo slightly dipping and Benavidez being the size he is, if he's able to endure Canelo's power, then I think Benavidez, could definitely outwork Canelo. Because Canelo, right now isn't that guy that he once was. That doesn't mean that he's not a good fighter. And a lot of you guys are coming back at me and saying, "Oh, Imran, you're saying, what are you saying?" No, you got to understand what I'm saying. He's 32. He's had over 60 fights. No one's going to be normal after 60 fights. If you come on, you can be a Canelo fan, but be realistic here. No human, it doesn't matter whether it's Canelo or whoever, no human can go on forever. No human, every human will, just like machinery. Every machine depreciates. Every car depreciates. Every car depreciates in value, and it depreciates in performance. And the human body is no different. It'll depreciate in performance, right? The more you use it. Canelo is a guy that's not a fresh fighter. He's a guy that's been in a lot of fights, a lot of training camps, a lot of wear and tear on that body. Doesn't matter what any of you say. It's human body, science. It's Canelo is at that stage now where he's starting to go onto the other side of the hill. That doesn't mean he's completely washed up, but he's coming down. He's not going up now, right? Whether you want to accept that, if you want to be in denial and don't want to accept that, that's your own choice. But it's obvious that he's not going to be on an incline right this point. He's not that young. He's 32. He's had a lot of fights. But that doesn't mean, but that's what, for me, that's what makes the fights with guys like Charlo, guys like Benavidez interesting, because before you would say them guys have no chance. Now, I still think he beats Charlo's and that, but I think some of the fights become interesting, especially against the bigger skill guys. They become very interesting. I think the Bivol fight is not a good fight. I think the Beterbiev fight is not a good fight because both those guys are massive. Both those guys are very skilled. Beterbiev is a pressure fighter, like a bigger version of Golovkin, and effectively very, very big puncher. And Canelo at this stage shouldn't be wanting to fight someone like that. And Bivol is a guy that I think Canelo should look to swerve, in my opinion. But you got to respect Canelo for wanting to fight him. But in my opinion, like, I think he should swerve Bivol because I think it's a dangerous fight. I think it's a fight that he probably loses. And I think there's a lot of fights, that winnable fights at 168 for him. And like I said, I probably still favor Canelo against everyone at 168. Some might not, but I do. But again, with the, like I said, the one that I think would be a threat would be Benavidez. That wouldn't be an easy fight. I think that everyone else, I think Canelo, I would make him a favorite. But again, at this point in Canelo's career, anybody could have a night of their life against Canelo, and that could be enough to win. Because like I said, looking at Canelo's last couple of fights, it does look like Canelo's not the same force he once was. Irrespective of what any of you say. This isn't me bashing Canelo. It's me observing and giving my opinion. You don't have to agree with it, but that's my observation. That after watching him, I don't think he's the same force he once was. That doesn't mean he's not a good fighter. That doesn't mean he still can't beat top names. What I'm trying to say is I think he's on the decline at this point. He's not on the incline. He's not, he's not as good as he once was. Yeah, and that's my take on what I think. You might not agree with it, but that's your take. If you think he's still in his prime and he's still firing all cylinders, then that's your opinion. I mean, you're entitled to that. But in my opinion, and any of you watching my opinion is of my opinion. I think Canelo is slightly declining at this point. But that doesn't mean that the fights at 168 against those guys, that means they're going to beat him. What I'm trying to say is I think that makes those fights a little bit more competitive. And, the fights that we once thought like he'll destroy Benavidez, I'm not so sure now, But yeah, so yeah, that's my take on it. Leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.